pretty excited about it.
So far it's been fun. It's all fun. I haven't had too many people who will tell me to jump off the bridge. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Actually, I've had more people who know me than
That's what they say.
I know.
Because it seems like every time she's peek in there, she's getting her.
well, we commenced the gerrymandering. I got 3 or 4 socialized.
It's all loud.
Okay, so you're on this side.
Yeah.
12 and 2.
Doesn't even watch his granddaughter.
We had,
So
I
she
think,
come up to
14
Diane
out
and
there.
show him hers, and Diane's just being he came over and don't see Diane's shit. No disrespect, but you don't talk to my granddaughter. You know, and he wasn't even paying attention to it.
Well, they'll have a little more fun than they used to. I appreciate that.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So tell me,
I think in his later years, he comes out in a wheelchair.
action is
I'm like, hey, glad you can make it, Bob.
Oh, really? It sounded like he was very awesome.
And that's the thing. With the adult basketball, it's because they're all dropping on supervised. That's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about.
Good evening. Welcome to Kent County Levy Court business meeting this evening. We're holding the meeting at the Kent County Administrative Complex at 555 Bay Road, Dover, Delaware. This is Tuesday, April 26, 2022. We're in Levy Court Chambers, room 203. And before I proceed on and formally open the business meeting, I'll turn it over to the Deputy County Administrator to read the rules of how people can access us by phone or through WebEx. So,
thank you, Mr. President. This meeting is being offered in person at 555 Bay Road, Dover, Delaware, in room 203. We're also making it available for people to join us via the internet through WebEx. Participants can either join us by computer or by telephone throughout the course of the meeting. There will be opportunities for public comments from those attending in person or online at the designated times. For those joining us by phone, press star 3, which will raise your electronic hand so our operator can identify you and bring you into the meeting. Pressing star 6 will mute and unmute your line. If you're on a computer, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the hand and microphone icons, and we ask that you use those at the appropriate time. We ask that all comments from our guests be preceded by stating your name and address for the record. Any comments taken during our public hearing testimony will be sworn by our attorney. This meeting is being recorded and will follow all the rules and procedures adopted by Levy Court, as well as the Mason's Rule of Order. Mr. President, back to you.
thank you. At this time, we'll formally call the meeting to order. I'll ask Commissioner Howell for the invocation, Commissioner Angel for the Pledge of Allegiance, and a moment of silence for our troops and first responders, Commissioner Sweeney. All rise, please.
Heavenly Father, we recognize your presence tonight and thank you for the freedom that you've bestowed to us in our country and our great state. And we pray that all of the proceedings tonight will be according to your will and pleasing to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence to honor our military, law enforcement, firefighters, paramedics, and other first responders who have lost their lives in the line of duty, protecting and fighting for our freedoms. We also honor our first responders and medical staff who have succumbed to COVID-19 virus complications, and yes, that still continues to happen. As of today, more than 990,000 Americans, 2,905 here in Delaware, and 645 right here in Kent County have lost their lives to COVID. Please remember these individuals who died in the line of duty, as well as keeping their families in your thoughts and prayers as they deal with the loss of their loved ones. Deputy Sheriff James Critchlow from the Ohio County Sheriff's Office in Kentucky. Police Officer Andrew Barr from the Case Police Department, South Carolina. Chief Darren Kroll from the Elwood Volunteer Fire Department. Firefighter EMT Brandon Bessie from the Salt River Fire Department, Arizona. Firefighter Lieutenant Philip Weigall from the Town and Country Fire District in Ohio. And Chief Isaac David Hassan, Sr. from the Hope Fire Department in Pennsylvania. Also tonight, please keep firefighter Paul Stoner from the Harrington Fire Department in your thoughts and prayers. He is currently in the Christiana Hospital fighting, ICU, fighting for his life after life-saving surgery after he was critically injured in an accident over the weekend. Please keep Paul, his family, and all firefighters in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Sweeney. Can we have a roll call to determine quorum, please?
Mr. Angel?
Present.
Mr. Buxton?
Present.
Mr. Hall?
Present.
Mr. Howell?
Here.
Mrs. Maston?
Present.
Mr. Sweeney?
Here.
Mr. Pepper?
Here.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 present.
Thank you. Need a motion on adoption of this evening's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Sweeney, second by Commissioner Angel. Unless there's any questions, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. This evening's agenda has passed. And I also need a motion on consent agenda 22-06.
Move to approve, Mr. President.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Sweeney, second by Commissioner Hall. Unless there's any questions, can we have another roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals this evening's consent agenda 22-06 has been approved. Go on down to presentations. First item on the agenda is special presentation of Resolution 3935. I think you all have copies. Ms. Tanaka, can we have that read into the minutes, please? And this is a resolution, so after it's read, we'll need a motion and a second, please. This is Resolution 3935, Kent County Medal for Charles E. Coker. Can we have it read?
Thank you. Whereas Charles Ed Coker has served on the Kent County Parks and Recreation Commission since March 6, 1975, and has the longest tenure of any member of a Levy Court appointed board, committee, or commission. And whereas Charles Ed Coker, a 2004 inductee into the Delaware Baseball Hall of Fame, has worked tirelessly to help with the formation of numerous Kent County recreational opportunities for residents and visitors, including Brecknock, Browns Branch, and Big Oak County Parks, the Lebanon Landing Boat Ramp and Hun Recreational Area, and the Kent County Recreation Center. And whereas Charles Ed Coker, a pitcher, first baseman for the Camden Tigers in the former Eastern Shore Baseball League, has always been concerned about the welfare of children and the hope that each child is provided the opportunity to participate in the recreational activity of their choice. As a result, Charles Ed Coker has been active in both the Dover and Marydale Little League for 60 years. And whereas Charles Ed Coker has been recommended for a Kent County Medal in accordance with the provisions of Kent County Levy Court policy and the requirements thereof. Now therefore be it resolved that the Kent County Levy Court does hereby recognize, commend, and award Charles Ed Coker of Dover, Delaware, with a Kent County Medal for meritorious service on this, the 26th day of April, 2022.
Thank you, Lori. Can we have all commissioners go down front, please? Better do a vote, please, first, yeah. Make it official. Need a motion?
Move to approve Resolution 3935 for Mr. Coker.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Sweeney, second by Commissioner Angel to approve Resolution 3935. Any questions? Seeing none, can we have roll call on Resolution 3935?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. The resolution is passed. Everybody down front, please. Ed, you want to come on up? Come on down. Ed, congratulations. I know you absolutely hate this. And we had to keep it a secret because we were afraid you wouldn't show up. So, but we really thought that you really need to be recognized for all the things that you've done in our community for all the kids. You've done an outstanding job. You're the longest serving person on any one of our committees here in Kent County. So that alone, you've made many meetings, and I'm sure you've missed family functions because of meetings. And not only for what you do for Kent County Levy Court, but what you do for Little League in the area. So we are really proud and happy to be able to do this. And I was thinking just a while back when we started putting this together that I've actually known you for 50 years. 50 years. You know, yeah. So actually, a long time ago, I worked for Ed in Sears when Sears was downtown Dover. So Ed was department manager in automotive and tires and paint section, and I worked for Ed. So it's like a full circle here, I guess. So let me pass this off to others who might want to say something.
Well, sir, all I can say is I've seen you at the Dover Little League get honored. We have a ball field, a Big Oak honor in your honor, and now we have a Medal of Honor for you for Kent County. I don't think we can do much more other than say keep living and keep doing what you're doing and mentor and keep us as useful as we can. Stay on board.
Congratulations, Mr. Coker, on a job well done. I sure don't have the history with you that the other gentleman does, but everything I've heard, you've just been an upstanding individual and very much committed to the community. So again, thank you so much.
Coach, Mr. Coker, appreciate you. You can appreciate this. I just left the ball field. And unfortunately, that ride's getting ready to come to an end, at least at the Little League phase. This will be my son, my last ball player's last year of playing. They don't do the big league anymore like they used to. So it's kind of an emotional time. In fact, it was like Christmas when he came to me and said, I'd like to play my last year. And boy, outside I was like, well, you know, you do what you want. Inside I was like, heck yeah, I got one more time. So anyway, I appreciate everything that you've ever done for us, and I know it's a lot, and everything that you've been honored with probably isn't enough, but I hope the medal helps, and thank you very much.
Big shock.
Yeah, well, I noticed that when the crowd was out front, and I said, they didn't show you inside, and they said, well, it's a secret. So it looks like it worked. Congratulations.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Mr.
Ed, congratulations. And I turned to Terry. I said, you see a look on his face? He was in a state of shock. You guys couldn't see it back there, but we thought we mispronounced somebody else's name. I think now with the ball field, now with this medal, you have more things named for you in Kent County than William Penn did. So congratulations. All the time that you've spent assisting Kent County, where we are today, we wouldn't be there without you. Thank you very much for everything you've done.
Well, your accomplishments are recognized, and dutifully so. We just appreciate everything you've done, all the years you've invested, and just know you're appreciated and recognized. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you very much for all your service to the county. As Joanne said, I mean, I don't know you as well as everyone else, but it's just impressive, all the dedication that you've shown to the county, and we appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Mr. Coker, again, I don't know you either, but you sound pretty impressive. So congratulations on something. I'm glad that we were able to bamboozle you a little bit and get you here so that you could accept this award. Thank you for everything that you've done, sir.
Thank you. Well, Ed, we've talked about it, but here it is. Here's the medal.
I want to see that at our next park.
It's engraved on the back. You're the 37th recipient of this particular medal, and we don't hand them out to just anybody. You've got to be special. You've got to have done something fantastic for the community and the county. And when you think about all the kids' lives that you've had a part to play in over the past 60 years, times how many kids that they have. It's just unbelievable. So this is the least that we can do for you. So, Jeremy, where are you? Jeremy, come on up. I know you want to say a few words, and then we'll have take some pictures. We'll have the family come up and take pictures.
Didn't prepare anything, but Mr. Coker, you're the rock, okay? And we've built off of you. So thank you for your years of service. Hope to have you as many more as you choose to. You'll help us keep building all the things that we're building for the future now and forever. Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. So Ed, if you'll come up here next to me and hold this, and don't cover your medal up. I want to make sure the medal in the picture too. So,
Sorry, we moved. Oh, it's right at the mic.
Ed, you want to say anything?
I'm at a loss for words. I look back, I see all of my kids back there, and all you gentlemen here. I've known most of you for years. I've seen a lot of them come and go. This is a knockout. I'm telling you. I had no idea.
Come on up, family. Come on, family. Did you really keep this a secret?
We did, I think. We got people from Pennsylvania here today. I think we got
I mean, this is fantastic. Got the family here. And in all seriousness, we wanted to keep it a secret because we really didn't think he'd show up if he knew we were recognizing him. So. So, Kelly, can we get some pictures somehow?
You guys slide in front and cover us up.
Yes. Yeah. You guys need to be in front, and
Make sure he gets out.
and Ed, you need to be out in the front.
Ed's not known for his height. I mean, family members aren't either.
There we go. There we go. All right. I'll let you introduce him.
Yep. So as the chair of the Community Services Committee, some of them have joined us. Brian, Walter, Mr. Long, and Kevin Zimmerman, who is currently the chair. You guys stand up. You guys deserve an applause too. Thank you. And the non-voting member of the committee, Mike Rigby.
Right over there in the picture, Mike.
Come on, Sims. Might be that six-pack you carry.
Okay. Child care providers. Okay. Thank you very much. Coker family, thank you for keeping this a secret and everybody showing up from out of town and everything. And Ed, again, thank you. Congratulations. Okay, moving on the agenda. The next item on the agenda is Resolution 3934, Child Care Providers Awareness Day. Lori, can you read that into the minutes, please?
Yes. Whereas child care, aware of America and other organizations nationwide are recognizing child care providers on this day, and whereas over half of the children under the age of 6 nationwide are estimated to spend some time in a non-parental care arrangement on a weekly basis, which provides critical enrichment opportunities and nurtures development for children of all backgrounds and is a vital building block for our state economy. And whereas the COVID-19 pandemic has created tremendous hardship for child care providers and the families of Delaware who depend on them, who have continued to meet the needs of families while risking their health and financial stability to remain open. And whereas Delaware recognizes these hardships and has provided much needed relief to providers to help sustain the viability of child care by deeming child care as an essential building, as an essential business during the pandemic, and by providing child care and development block grant funds to prevent, prepare for, and respond to the coronavirus. And whereas our future depends on the quality of the early childhood experiences provided to the young children today, support for high-quality child care represents a worthy commitment to our children's future. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Kent County Levy Court hereby declares May 6, 2022 as Provider Appreciation Day in Kent County, Delaware, and urge all Kent Countyans to recognize child care providers for their important work.
Thank you, Lori. This is Resolution 3934. Need a motion, please?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Angel, second by Commissioner Sweeney. Does anyone have any questions on the motion? Seeing none, can we have roll call, please, on Resolution 3934?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals Resolution 3934 has been approved by Levy Court. Is anyone here tonight to receive the Child Care Providers Awareness Day Award recognition? If not, then we'll make sure we'll get that to them. Okay, the next item. Where's, I don't have that. Okay, next item on the agenda is Resolution 3937, Kent County Business Week. Can we have that read into the agenda, minutes, please?
Whereas the success of a business invariably depends upon its representation in the community it serves, and the reputation is nearly always the result of a strong company leader. And whereas the Central Delaware Chamber of Commerce engages in activities to assist the business community and each year nominates business persons, companies, as examples of the quality of the businesses in Central Delaware. And whereas this year, the Central Delaware Chamber of Commerce has nominated the following individuals, companies, as outstanding business persons, companies. Under the category of Small Business of the Year, we have Haas Family Butcher Shop, La Baguette Bakery and Catering, Tres Sorel Dolce Ice Cream and Mini Golf. And in the Large Employer of the Year category, we have Dover Federal Credit Union, Kent Sussex Industries Incorporated, State Street Assisted Living. And the final category of Young Professional of the Year, we have Matt Bacon, Danae Crumrine, Abigail Seastrand. Now therefore be it resolved that Kent County, Delaware, does hereby proclaim the week of May 1st to May 7th, 2022, as Kent County Business Week. Be it further resolved that this resolution be adopted this 26th day of April, 2022, and is hereby incorporated into the official minutes of the Kent County Levy Court.
Thank you. This is Resolution 3937. I need a motion.
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Angel, second by Commissioner Sweeney. Is there any questions? Seeing none, can we have a roll call, please, on Resolution 3937?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
In years past, we presented this in the governor's office when the governor presents the awards. Is that the plan this year? Do you know? It is, okay. All right. So, Resolution 3937, Kent County Business Week, has been approved, and we'll present that to the recipients at a later date at the governor's office. And next item is Resolution 3936. It's retirement of Patricia M. Arona. Can we have that read into the official record, please?
Whereas the retirement of Patricia M. Arona, an employee of Kent County, State of Delaware, from her duties as Deed Clerk 3 in the Recorder of Deeds office, presents a suitable opportunity for expressing the esteem in which we hold Patricia M. Arona as a good and faithful public servant. Therefore, be it resolved that the County of Kent express its warmest appreciation and thanks to Patricia M. Arona for the able and loyal manner in which she performed her public duties. Be it further resolved that this resolution be her evidence of a right to the pension provided by the Kent County Employees Retirement Program, and that this resolution be and hereby is incorporated into the official minutes of the April 26, 2022 meeting of the Kent County Levy Court.
Thank you. Resolution 3936, we need a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Sweeney, second by Commissioner Angel. Are there any questions? I don't hear any or see any. Can we have a roll call, please, on Resolution 3936?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Yes. Mr. Howell? Yes. Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. So I guess that means we're going to have to let Patricia Arona retire. We have one last item here. It's Employee of the Month for May of 2022. Can we have that read into the record, please?
Kent County Department. Kent County Department heads have selected Crystal L. Yerkes from the Recorder of Deeds office as the May 2022 Employee of the Month. Crystal has been a Kent County employee since September 2001 and holds the position of Deed Clerk 2. Her primary duties include cash receipting, assisting in the preparation of month-end reports for realty transfer taxes due to the state of Delaware and municipalities, processing invoices for the office, and imaging recorded plot plans. Over her 21 years of service, Crystal has gained an in-depth knowledge of deeds and mortgage recording processes and become cross-trained in all aspects of fiscal and administrative procedures. She can perform a broad range of duties from document intake to payroll and do so with a positive attitude. Crystal is praised by supervisors for her willingness to lend a hand to co-workers, attorneys, title searchers, and general public. According to Kent County Recorder of Deeds Betty Lou McKenna, Crystal has stepped up and helped the office meet the recent staffing challenges caused by retirements and turnover. And although she is retiring herself at the end of May, it would have been remiss of me not to recognize her for her more recent efforts. Crystal is deserving of this honor, and I wish her the very best. Congratulations, Crystal, on a job well done. And she resides in Commissioners Howell's and Pepper's districts, and the tribute reads, Kent County Levy Court, May 2022, Employee of the Month, Crystal L. Yerkes. On this, the 26th day of April 2022, the Levy Court of Kent County, State of Delaware, does hereby recognize Crystal Yerkes, Deed Clerk 2, Office of the Kent County Recorder of Deeds, for her exceptional initiative, dedication, and conscientiousness in the delivery of services to the citizenry of the county.
Okay, thank you. Crystal's not here this evening, so we'll present this to her at a later date, but we did need to get it into the official record of Levy Court. So now we can all take our seats and proceed on with the meeting. There were no new employees to introduce tonight? Okay, great, thank you. Okay, I'd like to thank everyone for being here for those presentations tonight. We like to recognize our employees when they do something special, and we also like to recognize different groups in the community and for the good work that they do. And of course, it was really special tonight to be able to recognize Ed Coker with the County Medal. Now we'll continue. The next item on the agenda are public hearings. The first item is petition to amend the comprehensive plan map and zoning map. Commissioner Howe.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is Ms. Kiefer going? Oh, there you are. You blended in. I'm sorry. I didn't see you. Go ahead. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. Before we begin the hearing, just a word about how the hearings tonight will be conducted. This public hearing is being conducted for the purpose of giving the citizens of the county the opportunity to present testimony on the applications before the Levy Court. Everyone will have an opportunity to speak. All statements are to be made from the podium at the front of the room, and again, at the appropriate time, directions for participating via WebEx will be given. For the record, please give your name and address. Copies of any written statements or exhibits used during the hearing should be presented for identification and inclusion in the record. For each application before the Levy Court, the President will introduce the application. The Levy Court will then receive testimony from all of those in favor. Testimony will then be received from those who may be opposed. After everyone has had an opportunity to speak, the hearing on the application will be closed, and the Levy Court will take what action it deems appropriate. Levy Court's decision will be based upon public hearing testimony given at this meeting and a recommendation submitted to the Levy Court by the Regional Planning Commission. I would ask that that recommendation be included by reference in the permanent record of this meeting established by the Clerk of the Peace. The public notice of this hearing was published in the April 8th, 2022 edition of the Delaware State News. The first application before the Commission tonight, Ordinance LC 2203, is a petition to amend both the zoning map and the comprehensive plan map. The site is just under 5 acres on the south side of Forest Avenue, east of Pearson's Corner Road. It's currently zoned both AR, agricultural residential, and BG, general business. The proposal is to transition the site entirely to BG, general business. It is indeed outside of the growth zone. The Regional Planning Commission took testimony on the application at their April 7th hearing, and at their April 14th business meeting voted unanimously to recommend approval of the application, citing compatibility with the surrounding area, as well as the fact that it's in keeping with the recommendations of the comprehensive plan. So again, this comes with a recommendation for approval. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Mr. Kiefer? Any questions by any of the commissioners before I open the public hearing? Seeing none, at this time I open the public. At this time, I'll ask anyone in favor to please come forward and give your reasons why.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, Commissioners. Mr. Eliason. My name is Phil McGinnis Commercial Real Estate Company. I represent the owners of the Pearson Corner Farm. And yes, we have all the necessary recommendations. We had nobody comment at the RPC meeting. I think the whole point is that the owners of the farm are looking to sell just a little piece of it to generate some revenue to pay down some debt and pay farm expenses. He was telling me a story. They get a tub of some sort of insecticide or fertilizer or something. Last year it was $38,000. This year it's $118,000. So,
Mr. McGinnis, I'm going to interrupt you there, sir, and just ask you to swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving now and will give shortly is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that's okay. I can say it again if you want, but
you mentioned a $118,000 expense.
Yeah. So last year $38,000, this year $118,000. So he's just trying to work his way through to clear some debt and pay some expenses. And I think Ms. Kiefer said it. We conform to all the comprehensive plan recommendations and so forth. So I'll take any questions you have if you have any.
Any questions? Doesn't appear as though there are any.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Anyone else here in favor of ordinance LC 22-03? Anyone else here in the room in favor of LC 2203? Please come forward.
If there's anyone online that would like to make comments in favor of this hearing item, please press *3 on your phone to raise your hand. Mr. Kennedy, do we have anyone online?
I see no hands raised at this time.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, anyone in the room that is opposed, anyone opposed to ordinance LC 22-03, please come forward. Anyone opposed?
Again, anyone online who is opposed, please press *3 to raise your hand.
I see no hands raised online at this time.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions from the commissioners? Before I close the public hearing, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. To Commissioner Howe for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I move that we approve ordinance LC 2203, which is an ordinance to amend the comprehensive plan, map designation, and the official zoning map of Kent County, Delaware, pursuant to the provisions of Kent County Volume 2, Chapter 205 Zoning, Article 3, Section 205-8 and Section 205-9, and Article 28, changes and amendments effective December 1, 2000, as amended.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Howe, I believe a second first by Commissioner Hall. Or any questions on the motion? Seeing none, can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes, reasons stated by Commissioner Howe, as well as RPC approval, staff recommendations, and Department of Transportation saying their TIS study is not warranted.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes, for all reasons stated.
Mr. Hall?
Yes, per staff and RPC recommendations.
Mr. Howell?
Yes, voted unanimously to recommend by the RPC. I vote yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes, reason stated.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes, for reasons stated.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes, for all reasons stated, and it's a good fit for that area. Pearson's Corner is pretty much the center of commerce from everywhere, from the west side of Dover to the Maryland line. So I think it's a good fit for the area and build that area out and serve the people of that community. So yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals ordinance LC 22-03 has been approved by Levy Court. Thank you. Okay, next item is Kent County Ordinance. It's under Mr. Buxton, Ordinance LC 22-09, solar moratoriums. Turn it over to you, sir.
Be in front of us here now to explain things.
Thank you, Commissioner. Ordinance LC 2209 establishes a 3-month moratorium on the acceptance of new applications for public utility solar facilities. Again, it's 3 months. It is retroactive to its date of introduction. That would be March 8th. It does exempt anything 50 acres or less, which would, at this point, since the newer ordinance was adopted, would equate to community solar facilities. So very simply, it's a 3-month moratorium on utility-sized solar to give the Levy Court a bit of breathing room to consider potential amendments to the recently adopted regulations. It does come with a recommendation to approve from the Regional Planning Commission. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any commissioners have any questions? Commissioner Howell.
You said that it was for 90 days. It's not in the motion here. I don't know how important that is. I think maybe it should be. But the question I have is, when does the 90 days start and when does it end?
Starts March 8th, ends June 8th.
Should it be included in the motion when it's given?
It certainly can be, should you choose to.
Because I know it's in the notes, but publicly speaking, we're making a motion. It needs to be complete. That's what I'm saying.
Any other questions for Ms. Kiefer? Don't see any. Thank you, ma'am. So this also is a public hearing. Ordinance LC 22-09, solar moratoriums. Anyone in favor of this ordinance, please come forward and state why. Anyone in favor?
If there's anyone online that would like to make comments in favor of this hearing item, please press *3 on your phone to raise your hand.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Tricia Hurd Nash, 3652 Big Woods Road, Smyrna, Delaware, 19977.
You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
I'm going to make this really short. Myself and the other agricultural members in the audience support this ordinance or this moratorium. We thank you guys for working on it, for looking at it, and for recognizing the need. If you have any questions, I feel free to answer them. If I can help anybody make a decision, but I think it's definitely needed so that we can responsibly go forward with solar in Kent County. And that's the key, doing it responsibly. So, thanks.
Great, thank you. Any questions? Don't see any, thank you. Anyone else in the audience that's in favor of this ordinance, please come forward.
Kevin Goldsboro. I reside at 668 Lighthouse Road, Smyrna, Delaware, 19977.
Mr. Goldsboro, do you swear or affirm, sir, to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so yes, I'll speak in support of this ordinance. I think just like Ms. Nash is saying, just anything to kind of slow down, the solar and the ag community. However, I do have to mention of some things that I thought that should have been preventing it. So next slide, please. So these mega solar projects could have been prevented by applying any of existing amendments, laws, and ordinances. Let's start with our founding fathers who went through great lengths to guarantee private property rights. they did this because they knew it was essential for a free society to exist. We have experienced a lack of appreciation for this concept and existing laws that are to reinforce this. Simply put, these zonings have destroyed property values, and now these properties are artificially priced for government-funded companies to claim them. Hopefully, it's not too late to mitigate this by implementing this new ordinance, which may bring us back on track. I truly hope that this ordinance is passed and that it is adhered to. I have my concerns here because under the 5th and 14th Amendments due process clauses, that this already should have been prevented, these massive solar projects from occurring in agriculturally zoned areas. Specifically, next slide, please. Within common law, there are limits to the right of free use when it encroaches on the private property rights of others. Under common law, people cannot use their property in ways that damage their neighbor's property. At this point, those property rights and those owners with such intentions are not to be legally permitted to take those actions. In areas zoned agriculturally, some of these effects of solar include property value loss for adjacent property owners, loss of revenue when considering the decrease of waterfowl populations in the area, which affect our quality of hunting, and loss of revenue from the hunting clubs who we lease out to. Loss of revenue is also created when considering that projects that are hundreds of acres in scale have the potential to increase the temperature in the area up to 6 degrees for up to a mile out. So this would definitely decrease the percentage yield of crops for adjacent property owners. I must also include, next slide please. So classic law, which includes nuisance and risk, which is very relevant because most of these panels contain lead, cadmium, and PFAS, according to the EPA. In the ag community,
Excuse me, Mr. Goldsboro, can I interrupt you for a minute?
Yes.
We're not here to talk about whether solar is a good thing or a bad thing. The only thing we're here for tonight is to determine whether or not there should be a moratorium. So you're kind of you're kind of flowing into making a case against solar, whether it's good or bad.
Okay, sir. It's not just the case against solar, but it's the fact that there were some things that I think were already in place to prevent, that should have been preventing it before this ordinance should have, been before it should have been implemented. If these existing laws haven't been adhered to, what's my expectation of this new ordinance of it being adhered to? It's only so high, sir. So if I could just have a closing comment, sir. Just I just believe it's this responsibility of the county, and some has to do with the Quality of Life Act of 1988, to where the quality of life in these areas is compromised, and that's something else to be looked at in combination with this ordinance. So hopefully the ordinance backs all those concepts up. So any questions of me then?
No, thank you. Well, Mr. Buxton has a question.
Mr. President, Mr. Goldsboro, I don't have to agree with everything to listen to everything. And while I get the fact that we want to maintain control, we're not going to be here all night. We're fine. So I'd like to make sure that you have the opportunity to speak your mind within reason. So if you've considered that done, that's great. If it isn't and you've left something out, I would encourage you to make sure that you state it.
And I'll make that determination, Mr. Buxton. Thank you, Mr. Goldsboro.
Okay, that's I feel like I've pretty well, summed up my thoughts there with what I was referring to as my closing comment.
And we've heard you numerous times, so we understand where you're coming from.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else here in favor of this ordinance, LC 22-09?
Mr. Kennedy, is there anyone online that would like to speak?
I see no hands raised online at this time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anyone in the audience opposed? Anyone opposed to ordinance LC 22-09? Anyone opposed?
Mr. Kennedy, anyone online opposed?
No one in opposition online at this time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Before I close the public hearing, do any of the commissioners have any questions? If not, I'll close the public hearing on ordinance LC 22-09 and turn it over to Commissioner Buxton for a motion, please.
Considering the fact that I have not heard specifically about the moratorium from the commissioners with any specifics other than where we are tonight, I'll make a motion. In fairness to Ms. Maston, I meant specific to the moratorium and where we are tonight. If I didn't articulate that correctly, because I appreciate your efforts leading here. Then I'll make a motion that we, Commissioner Sweeney.
Just real quick. Ms. Kiefer, is there any consideration right now for any changes to the ordinance that we approved in March?
There's been discussion, but
None?
there's nothing official that's ready to be in front of you.
There has been discussion, but nothing formal. All right, thank you. Sorry about that, Mr. Buxton.
Because my understanding is that it would almost be a rewrite in order to include a moratorium on solar in its entirety. Something that was clearly articulated was not a part of the ordinance for the folks who were in attendance that night, March 8th, where it clearly stated that it was a exclusion of community-based solar. But leaving that meeting and then moving into the Regional Planning Commission, it was determined that maybe not everyone understood that. So in fairness, I looked into an entirety of the solar that would require a restart of the ordinance. So I don't know if that's what you maybe were referring to. As far as the 90 days, my understanding is we're in control of the length of a moratorium and can revisit that at a later date if need be. But I hope that we don't have to. I sincerely hope that the things that we're doing work out. But there you go. So anyway, let's go to, I recommend approval of ordinance LC 22-09, enacting a 3-month moratorium on the acceptance of solar installations over 50 acres in size. This is based on Exhibit A, staff recommendation report dated April 7, 2022, Exhibit B, in the public testimony and hearings in the RPC, as well as comments leading up to this.
Second.
Thank you. There's a motion by Commissioner Buxton, second by Commissioner Maston to approve ordinance LC 22-09. Any questions on the motion? I don't see any. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes, RPC approval. Ms. Nash comments and reasons stated. Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes, per my comments.
Mr. Hall?
No, I believe that the ordinance that was introduced and approved was fine, doesn't need a moratorium. I'm familiar with discussions to improve it, and I'm in favor of those improvements, and I think that those that are here tonight will probably be in favor of them as well, but we're halfway through the moratorium period, and I don't believe that it serves a good purpose.
Mr. Howell?
I vote yes for reasons stated.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes, reason stated.
Mr. Sweeney?
Look, I have a lot of respect for farmers in Kent County and across this nation for everything that they do and what they provide for our communities. My ex's family owned a family farm west of Felton, and it's still owned by a grandson. You guys may know Philip Sylvester. He was part of Kent County Farm Bureau. He was at Department of Ag. My son-in-laws are the Doolins, who have a large farm west of Smyrna. As a matter of fact, they were the Kent County Farm family a few years ago. And then we heard tonight, Mr. McGinnis had a farm who the farmer asked to have a portion of the land rezoned in order to make bills. I would hope that these families and any other families, if they were in a position that they did not have offspring to take over farm operations, that they could utilize the farm in a way that benefits them financially for the rest of their lives. Look, if you don't want solar farm on your farms, then I implore you, don't succumb to the offers from solar companies wanting to install solar in Kent County. But don't desire to take that opportunity away from other families who have other options. I'm opposed to the moratorium. My vote's no.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes, for all reasons stated by the ones in favor of.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 5 yeas, 2 nay.
Thank you. Ordinance LC 22-09 solar moratoriums has been approved by Levy Court. Now we'll move into the FY 2023 annual operating budget resolutions and ordinances, and this will take some time because each one needs a motion and public hearing.
We have 10 ordinances to review. Mrs. Durham?
Guess we have to do it a little differently tonight with the seating arrangement. Debbie's going to do a quick overview of the budget before we go into the public hearing. So if you have any questions after that, let me know, please.
Good evening, everyone. So we're going to run through the fiscal year 2023 budget. To start off with, the all funds combined is $108 million. Sorry. In the budget, there is a 4% COLA increase for all full-time employees. There's also a 2% COLA for the retirees that retired from active service. And there is also a 2% step increase incorporated in for all eligible employees. The pension fund contribution for both the general fund and the sewer fund is combined $3,900,000, and the OPEB fund is $2,500,000. The general fund operating budget is $35,897,000. There is no property tax increase for fiscal year 2023, and there is no library tax increase for the Kent County Library tax nor for Milford Library tax. The budget includes 11 additional positions, 5 paramedics, 3 dispatchers, 1 GIS analyst, 1 accountant, and 1 housing and community development specialist, all in the general fund. There's 3 positions that were reclassified. The computer systems administrator went from a grade 21-23 to 21-24. The emergency management and administration officer, a grade 21-22 was reclassified to emergency management assistant director of public safety, a grade 21-23, and a permit tech supervisor was reclassified from a grade 21-16 to 21-18. This shows the operating revenue for the general fund, again, which is $35,800,000. 11,700,000 coming from property taxes, and $8 million coming from really transfer tax. The grant is estimated to be $2,766,000, and fees for service is $8,700,000, and we're transferring in from our fund balance at $2,800,000. The operating expenditures, the main broken down by department here. The community services is $4.8 million. Planning services is $5.2 million. Public safety is almost $13 million. Rear offices is $2.6 million, and special grants and services is $2.4 million, and contingency is set at $1 million. And the capital projects, the transfers out to capital projects and CDBG is $2.9 million. The capital projects for the general fund is $2,800,000. Information technology is $325,000. Community services is $1.2 million. Assessment is $55,000. Planning is $60,000. Public safety is $688,000. Facilities management is $235,000, and special projects is $265,000. The sewer fund operating budget is $2,917,000. Oh, sorry, 22. There's no increase in the sewer fund user rate for fiscal year 23, sorry. There is one additional position, and it's a wastewater treatment operator intern / trainee. There is only one position budgeted for in the fiscal year 2023 budget. However, Levy Court did approve up to 3 positions. The main revenue source for the sewer fund is the user fees at $18 million and the hauler charges at $1.7 million. And we're transfer in from appropriated retained earnings at $1.2 million. The expenses are broken out. Personnel expenses are $8.2 million. Operating expenses are $7.7 million. Debt services is almost $4 million. Contingency is $1 million, and capital projects is $1.3 million. The capital projects for the sewer fund, the treatment plant upgrades is $960,000. The conveyance systems expansion and upgrades is $2 million. Sanitary service sewer district, $735,000. Pump station upgrades is $570,000. Equipment is $300,000, and special project is $75,000 for a total of $4.6 million. The street light, there's currently 142 active districts. We're budgeting to serve 15,558 units. And the revenue expenditures is at $1 million. Trash collection fund is 147 active districts, anticipating to serve 16,503 households. Revenue expenditures is $5.4 million. And the current fee for without yard waste is $310.50, and with yard waste is $339 a year. The stormwater maintenance fund, there's currently 37 active districts serving 3,751 households and 4 commercial units, and the revenue expenditures is expected to be $113,900. Is there any questions? We're ready to start reading the resolutions. Okay.
Okay, any questions before we start? Questions? Seeing none, Mrs. Maston, I need a motion on Resolution 3920.
Resolution 3920, FY 2023 property tax rate. Motion to approve the Kent County Levy Court to affix the property tax rate for fiscal year 2023 to be 30 cents.
Second the motion.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Masson, second by Commissioner Angel. Any questions? Seeing none. At this time, this is a public hearing. At this time, anyone in the audience in favor, please come forward.
Mr. Kennedy, do we have anyone online? Mr. Kennedy, do we have anyone online?
Yeah, we have no more public participants online at this time.
Okay, anyone in the audience opposed? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, we have the motion. Can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Resolution 3921.
Resolution 3921, FY 2023 Old Mill Acres Suburban Park District tax rate. A motion that Kent County Levy Court affix the Old Mill Acres Suburban Park District tax rate for fiscal year 2023 to be 4.4 cents.
Okay, anyone in the audience in favor of this? Anyone in the audience in favor of Resolution 3921? Seeing none, anyone in the audience opposed to Resolution 3921?
Mr. Kennedy, is there anyone online that opposes or agrees?
Yep, no, we have no public participants online.
Okay, so seeing no one in favor or opposed, can we have the motion, please, for Resolution 3921?
Resolution 3921, FY 2023 Old Mill Acres Suburban Park District tax rate. Motion for Kent County Levy Court to affix the Old Mill Acres Suburban Park District tax rate for fiscal year 2023 to be 4.4 cents.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Masson, second by Commissioner Sweeney. Unless there's any questions on the motion, give me a roll call, please.
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals Resolution 3921 has passed. Resolution 3922, Commissioner Maston.
Resolution 3922, motion that Kent County Levy Court affix the Rural Grant Suburban Park District tax rate for fiscal year 2023 to be 5.7 cents.
Okay, any questions from the commissioners? Seeing none, at this time we'll open the public hearing on Resolution 3922. Anyone in the audience in favor? Anyone in the audience in favor? Anyone in the audience opposed? Anyone opposed?
We have no participants online, Mr. President.
Okay. This time, unless there's any questions, I'll close the public hearing on Resolution 3922 and ask for the motion and a second, please.
Resolution 3922, FY 2023 Rural Grant Suburban Park District tax rate. A motion for Kent County Levy Court to affix the Rural Grant Suburban Park District tax rate for fiscal year 2023 to be 5.7 cents.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Masson, second by Commissioner Sweeney. Any questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Resolution 3922 has been approved. Can you read Resolution 3923, please?
Resolution 3923, FY 2023 Eagles Nest Suburban Park District Tax Rate. Be it resolved that the Kent County Levy Court affixes the Eagles Nest Suburban Park District Tax Rate for fiscal 2023 to be 6.5 cents.
Okay. Any questions? Seeing none, this time we open a public hearing on Resolution 3923 and ask any of those in the audience that are in favor to please come forward. Any in favor? Any opposed? Any opposed, please come forward.
Again, Mr. President, there's no participants online.
Thank you. Any questions from the commissioners? If not, can we have a motion, please, on Resolution 3923? And a second, please.
Motion for Kent County Levy Court to fix the Eagles Nest Suburban Park District tax rate for fiscal year 2023 to be 6.5 cents.
Second.
Thank you. Got a motion and a second. Unless there's any questions, can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals Resolution 3923 has passed. And can you read Resolution 3924 into the record, please?
Resolution 3924, Kent County Disposal District 1, user rates. User rate for Kent County Disposal District Number 1 for fiscal year 2023 to be set at $2.58 per 1,000 gallons of sewage transmitted into the district. Rate will be assessed on sanitary sewer districts and others except septic haulers contracting with Kent County for sewage disposal services.
Okay, any questions? Seeing none. Okay, this time, anybody in the audience in favor of Resolution 3924? Anybody in favor? Please come forward. Seeing none. Anyone opposed? Please come forward. Anyone opposed?
And no participants online, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Need motion on Resolution 3924.
Motion that the user rate for Kent County Disposal District Number 1 for fiscal year 2023 to be $2.58 per 1,000 gallons of sewage transmitted into the district. This rate will be assessed on sanitary sewer districts and others except septic haulers contracting with Kent County for sewage disposal services.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Masson, second by Commissioner Angel. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals Resolution 3924 has passed. Can you read Resolution 3925 into the record, please?
FY 2023 Library Tax District tax rate. Be it resolved that the Kent County Levy Court affixes the Library Tax District tax rate for fiscal year 2023 to be 3.3 cents.
Thank you. Anybody in the audience in favor of Resolution 3925? Anybody in favor? Anybody opposed? Anybody opposed?
And no public comments from online.
Thank you. Unless there's any questions, can we have a motion on Resolution 3925?
Motion for Kent County Levy Court to affix the Library Tax District tax rate for fiscal 2023 to be 3.3 cents.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Masson, second by Commissioner Sweeney. Any questions? Seeing none, can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals Resolution 3925 has been approved. Mr. Masson, can you read Resolution 3926 into the record, please?
FY 2023 Milford Library Tax District tax rate. Be it resolved that the Kent County Levy Court affixes the Milford Library Tax District tax rate for fiscal year 2023 to be 7.75 cents.
Thank you. Any questions? If not, anyone in the audience in favor? Anyone in the audience in favor? Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed?
No public participants online at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you. We'll close the public hearing. Can we have roll call, please, on Resolution 3926? Motion, please.
Motion that the Kent County Levy Court affix the Milford Library Tax District tax rate for the fiscal year 2023 to be 7.75 cents.
Again. And look, let me just say something real quick. Mr. Shepard Sr., this is the most boring thing we do the entire year, and you're sticking in there. Thank you.
Okay, so motion by Commissioner Masson, second by Commissioner Sweeney, correct? Yes. All right. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals Resolution 3926 has been approved. And can you read Ordinance LC 22-06, please?
Ordinance LC 22-06, an ordinance adopting the annual operating budget for the Library Tax District of Kent County, Delaware for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2022.
So you had a question. Anybody in the audience in favor? Anybody in the audience in favor of Ordinance LC 22-06? Seeing no one. Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed?
No participants online at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you. I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion on Ordinance LC 22-06.
Motion to accept Ordinance LC 2206 to adopt the annual operating budget for the Library Tax District of Kent County, Delaware for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2022.
Was that a motion? Sorry.
That was a motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? If not, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Ordinance LC 22-06 has passed. Next ordinance LC 22-07, Commissioner Maston.
Ordinance LC 2207, an ordinance adopting the annual operating budget for Kent County, Delaware for the fiscal year beginning on July 1st, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2023.
Second motion. Oh.
Yes. Anyone in the audience in favor of Ordinance LC 22-07? Anyone in the audience in favor? Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed to Ordinance LC 22-07?
I see no comments from the public online at this time.
Thank you. Then we need a motion, please. Close the public hearing. Motion.
Motion to accept Ordinance LC 2207, ordinance adopting the annual operating budget for Kent County, Delaware for the fiscal year beginning on July 1st, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2023.
Second motion now.
Motion by Commissioner Masson, second by Commissioner Angel to approve Ordinance LC 22-07. Unless there's any questions, can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
During my tenure at Levy Court, sometimes I find it necessary to vote in opposition of this particular ordinance. I find myself at one of those times. I'll be happy to discuss or share any of those concerns, as I've somewhat stated in some of the meetings. It is not because I don't support staff. It's not because I don't support the work of the commissioners. It is because within the budget itself, there are some spending items and some systemic things that still remain. And so this is my best option of stating no to them. So for those reasons, I will vote no on this particular ordinance.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 nay.
Thank you. Roll call reveals ordinance LC 22-07 passed. Resolution 3927, Commissioner Maston.
Resolution 3927, command to the Director of Finance to collect sewer delinquent accounts by district as of March 31st, 2022.
Thank you. Open public hearing on Resolution 3927. Ask anyone in the audience that is in favor of this to please come forward. Anyone in favor? Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed, please come forward.
No comments from the public online at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any questions from the commissioners? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion for Resolution 3927.
Resolution 3927, motion to command the Director of Finance to collect sewer delinquent accounts by district as of March 31st, 2022.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Masson, second by Commissioner Sweeney. Unless there's any questions on the motion, can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals Resolution 3927 has passed, and we will close the public hearings. To old business, there is none. Go to new business. First item on there, Commissioner Maston.
Commands to the Director of Finance for resolutions pertaining to the FY 2023 budget, resolutions 3920 through 3927. Upon adoption of the resolution, commands are issued to the Director of Finance to collect the taxes.
This is a vote, right? So that's a motion?
How about I rephrase it?
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Masson made the motion. Commissioner Sweeney seconded. And any commissioner have any questions? If not, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Director of Finance, you have a command. All right, action items from April 19th Administration Committee meeting. Commissioner Angel, we have 2 items.
Thank you, Mr. President. Computer aid, the ERP project management service. Joe, you want to come forth in case there's any questions? Any questions for Joe on this item that we discussed back in committee? None? You're fine.
All right, so you'll make a motion?
Okay, I move to approve a professional service contract with Computer Aid Incorporated, CAI, to provide project management and change management services associated with the conversion of existing Kent County data processing systems to Tyler Munis Enterprise, ERP, software as a service platform as presented and recommended by the county staff during the Administration Committee meeting of April 19, 2022, with a contract term of 30 months and an annual cost not to exceed $738,840 for each of the first 2 years and $369,420 for the final 6 months of engagement with the source of funding being the General Fund Information Technologies Enterprise Solution Capital Project Budget. And I further move to authorize the President of Levy Court to execute said contract on behalf of Levy Court.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Angel, second by Commissioner Maston. Are there any questions on that motion? Seeing none, we have roll call, please.
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Motion passed. Item number 2, Commissioner Angel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Employee insurance proposals. If there's any questions for Mr. Cuela. Seeing none, there's 4 motions, correct, Mr. Cuela?
Yes, you're awarding it to 4 different types to 4 different agencies.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Cuela? Okay.
We're going to do one at a time.
Travel accident insurance. I move to renew and award the employee travel accident insurance coverage to New York Life L&W Insurance Broker at a cost of $1,000 per year for fiscal year 2023 as the lowest responsive bidder, meeting specifications, and further authorize the President of Levy Court to execute this service agreement upon approval of the county attorney.
Need a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Angel, second by Commissioner Sweeney. Any questions? Seeing none, can we have a roll call, please, on the first motion?
Yes. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals the motion passed. Item number 2.
Long-term disability insurance. I move to award the long-term disability insurance coverage to Madison National Life Insurance Company, the municipal Pool Ausch Inc. broker, at a cost of .165 per 100 of a monthly salary with a $4,050 monthly benefit limit for fiscal years 2023, 2024, and 2025 as the lowest responsive bidder, meeting specifications, unless another cooperative trust can offer better coverage rates, and further authorize the President of Levy Court to execute a service agreement upon approval of the county attorney.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Angel, second by Commissioner Sweeney. Any questions on that motion? Seeing none, we have roll call, please.
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals the motion for long-term disability insurance has passed. This third item, please.
Life insurance with accidental death and dismemberment insurance. I move to award the basic employee life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance coverage to the Standard Insurance Company, L&W, as broker at the rate of 18 cents per 1,000 of salary rate for basic life, 5,000 for eligible retirees, with a rate of .017 per 1,000 of salary rate for AD&D benefits for eligible employees, and the optional voluntary life, disability, and AD&D insurance coverage at the rates quoted for fiscal years 2023, 2024 as the lowest responsive bidder, meeting specifications, unless another cooperative trust can offer better coverage rates, and further authorize the President of Levy Court to execute a service agreement upon approval by the county attorney.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Angel, second by Commissioner Mast. Any questions? Seeing none, can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals the motion for life insurance and accidental death and dismemberment insurance has been approved. The final item, Commissioner Angel.
Yes, dental insurance, self-insured. I move to renew the existing agreement with Delta Dental of Delaware, Inc. at an administrative fee of $3.61 per month per contract for a 2-year term. Retain the current plan design, $2,000 calendar year maximum benefit and cost share, and further authorize the President of Levy Court to execute a service agreement upon approval by the county attorney.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Angel, second by Commissioner Sweeney. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, can I have roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yeah.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals the motion passed for dental insurance. And I believe that concludes the new business. Other business, Madam Deputy Director, are you calling an executive session tonight, or you or the attorney?
Not me.
This is your first opportunity.
I'll do it.
We're good.
If not, Commissioner Angel, item number 2.
Move to go into executive session immediately following the committee meetings of May 3rd, 2022 for preliminary discussion on site acquisition for a publicly funded capital improvement legal strategy session regarding collective bargaining or pending or potential litigation and personal matters pursuant to 29 Del Code 10004 B2, 4, and 9.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Angel, second by Commissioner Sweeney to go into executive session in May 3rd, 2022 meeting. Any questions? Seeing none, can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Buxton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. President, roll call reveals 7 yeas.
Thank you. Roll call reveals the motion passed. Any information items commissioners may have? Mr. Angel.
Thank you, Mr. Pepper. This past week, I was able to go to Modern Maturity to watch the award given to Tom Anderson. He was 99 years old. He was in a secretive Army position called the Ghost Army that nobody knew anything about and just came to light due to the Pentagon and everybody releasing records and letting that go. What that was they had tanks, they had artillery that you blew up like a balloon. It looked so real that it threw the army, the enemy off guard, and it saved lives and it helped get the war done quicker by having the enemy utilize their artillery, so it wasn't hurting anybody. Now, some people did get injured, yes, during that, but it was just amazing, this man. And to tell you the truth, when I was standing next to him, and being in the Army, there was always a height requirement. I was always wondering how he got in the Army because I didn't think he was even 5 foot. But after talking with him, he was just an amazing, he lives in Terry's in my district, and he's from this area, and he worked 31 years for Boland Motors. He worked for 50 plus years for Trader Funeral Home. And in fact, he was still working and would be working at Traders if COVID hadn't hit them. They didn't want him getting sick because they didn't know what COVID would do. So they actually did not call him back, which he was a little like, I really want to work. So, but he was just amazing that he still drives. It's amazing how this man in our community hadn't got through the loophole of what he went through in the service for his country. And I just wanted to bring that up. And I think at this time, I'd also like to even see if we can even get him a county medal. I know he's late in life, but, you know, he's already got the national award, but he's right here from our own community. We gave him a resolution, and he was appreciative of that, but I think we need to go one step above, just to throw that out. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any more informational items? Any public comments? Public comments kind of thin. Mark, do you have any public left?
Yep, no public comments from online at this time.
Thank you. Any commissioner comments? Seeing none, need a motion to adjourn?
So move, Mr. President.
Second.
Well, it's sort of, Mike must have turned the air conditioning off before he left, because it is very warm in here. So you can ask him if he did that to save money while he wasn't here.
Send him a picture.
I do want to send him a picture, but I will let you choose.
It doesn't matter. As long as you have captioned the name Wally Pipp. You can ask the council down there for an explanation.